is the causeway, and then bouncing off the distance would be Bird Key. And I know it's not making you nauseous at home, but it's a good indicator of how rough it is. And the worst one from that point, the eye wall begins to approach. So then we have another camera, but this is down the Naples Pier. And look at that. I mean, that's. I'll tell you one thing. I've seen too many of these views the past year or two. It seems every couple of months we're showing this type of beach. This is beach erosion. This is flooding. This is the mess. And it's unfortunate, and that continues all the way up our coast. And this is the type of water surge they'll see. Lovely Siesta Key and Longbow Key and Bradenton Beach and all the way up to Anna Maria. And Anna Maria's going to have some problems too. But let's think about this and keep on talking about the science. I mean, Kim did a great job of just discussing it. This is the same area that just was devastated by Helene, and at least as much water, if not more water. So it's this ridiculous 1-2 punch that almost sometimes doesn't seem fair. It just doesn't.
And especially not fair when we look at cameras like this we discussed earlier. This is the Naples Fishing Pier, already sustained so much damage from Ian. They were looking to rebuild it in a much bigger way. And here we are again. They're kind of in the crossfire for some strong, heavy storm surge on the south side of this system. Remember, Naples is far south of the center of the storm. Just gives an idea of the power of it as those onshore winds are pushing through southwest Florida. And this is a great map to check out the wind gust angled offshore right now. That's why winds are driving the waters off of Pinellas County in many spots. Areas to the south of the circulation are starting to see those winds tilt back to the north. And in some spots, like you're seeing in southwest Florida, all the winds are starting to shift out south and west and move onshore. And that's what's driving the storm surge already. But numbers are just going to climb as this pushes on land here soon.
Well, this 77 is the highest we've seen so far in Sarasota. And so sustained hurricane force winds. Wind gusts, but they'll have sustained hurricane force winds pretty soon. The Hurricane Center is watching this. They adjusted the track a little bit, and from this point, it's really about watching the center on radar and just kind of watching it move across the state. And we're going to pay attention to you. I know a lot of you are not here, but you're here inland and you're watching on TV going, okay. Talk to me about inland areas, and the weather is going to come your way, and we're not going to talk about sustained, I don't think 80 or 90 inland, but there'll be some hurricane force gusts, and that's the type of wind, unfortunately, that can cause trees down and power outages. There's a 77 gust in Sarasota with still the eye offshore, St. Pete 61. Strongest winds we think are right here. But the rain continues to come down, and what's happening over in Pinellas and Hillsborough is pretty much nonstop. And the problem is NASA expands on this a bit more, is that it goes back here. And this is all going to move in tandem with the hurricane because it's transitioning to kind of a non-tropical system. Non-tropical systems, the weather's always on the north and northwest and northeast side with nothing of note to the south. So all of this here is going to end up sitting over Pasco and Hillsborough and Pinellas and eventually Polk and Lake and Sumter and over by Orlando. So when everything is said and done, there'll be a big swath of rain right here, 10 to 20. Easily 10 to 20 inches of rain. No doubt. All kinds of flood issues. We've had tornadoes earlier today. Every hazard that a hurricane can bring, we've had. The tornado issue huge, the rain issue huge, the wind is getting worse, and the water's coming up along the west coast. As far as intensity, category 3 now, probably category 2 at landfall. And look, if you talk about a landfall point, pretty much what we said last night. I mean, it looks like the center is going to end up kind of maybe moving over Bradenton Beach, maybe as far north as maybe up towards the Anna Maria, but generally speaking, it'll slide just a little bit south of Tampa Bay. Now, talked to someone came in the newsroom. Benny was in here and said on the bayshore now, the wind's blowing the water out. You're north of where the center is, and with the northeast wind, you kind of have competing factors. You have the hurricane bringing the water with it, but at the same time, 60, 70 mile an hour winds are pushing the water out. So they fight each other, and but for now, the water's heading out. South of the eye, water levels coming up, which makes sense because when we talk about this over and over for the past 3 days about those storm surge numbers, you can't really count on them when you're north of the center. That's exactly what's happening right now. So that's that as far as the radar is concerned. The track's important, but I mean, honestly, from this point on, we're going to watch it live, and we'll see how it moves across the state. Catherine, it has reached peak intensity. It reached shear and dry air today, so it's weakening. It'll cut across the state and be east of us, certainly by early morning tomorrow. The numbers, now the hurricanes are using Orlando, 150 miles southwest of Orlando. Top winds are 120, moving northeast at 15. It goes well east of us by a day or two. And then we get some drier air coming into the backside, making some low dew points as a bonus. Got this graphic in here, but again, these numbers are all kind of off because of the track of the system. So we'll update you and keep you up to date. Power outage is a big problem, and I got a lot of reports on my phone. Paul lost power, all from Hernando and Citrus counties all the way south. Not a big shocker at all. We'll see you again at 6:30. Back to you.
All right, Paul, thank you.
I mean, we just continue to watch this. One small plus here is we don't have any current warnings right now. So there's no current tornado warnings across the entire viewing area. Now that could quickly change, but as you look at the camera down in Plymouth Harbor, you've seen it bouncing around, torrential rain. I mean, at times from this vantage point, we've not even been able to see downtown. And you flip the camera around and you look, this is at Lido, and you're looking at the waves. And this is somewhat deja vu from just, less than 2 weeks ago with Helene. And you're seeing just the huge waves and that surge starting to develop along the coastline there. And unfortunately, conditions are just going to continue to deteriorate. We'll work our way up the coastline. Clearwater Beach, you can see at times that water has certainly gone much higher up the beach. You can see that line, but right now, receding back a little bit, but this is going to continue to build as we go through the afternoon. You look real closely, and I was looking at this a few minutes ago. This is Bayshore Boulevard. Trust me, it's in there. You can see a little hit right there on the left-hand side of some of the condo buildings, but for the time being, everything looking okay as far as storm surge with this track. Further to the south, that is going to help the situation as far as that storm surge into Tampa Bay. Look at the winds right now. St. Petersburg sustained basically just a hair below tropical storm force. We'll go ahead and we'll call it tropical storm. 48 tropical storm. So gusting to 48. Clearwater gusting to 44 here in Tampa. We'll see our winds gusting from 37 miles an hour down in the Sarasota. Winds are gusting 43 miles an hour. All these winds, for the time being, they're pushing offshore. That's what's really helping the situation out. But right now, very active. And I want to take a moment to show you this, because this is the power outages, and those
they
are
did,
starting
yeah,
to
but
accumulate at this point.
it's not
You look at Hillsborough County, and we're at
it's
9,500,
not as bad. I mean, I got all my stuff packed up,
Manatee.
you know,
We're now at
to
8,000.
go in case of emergency,
Right
but
now.
so
We
far,
just now have yet
not been
under
yet.
tornado warning.
Just,
So just
but the wind is
at the
big time
time
because the
we're
hurricane is getting
excited
close
about
up
no
to land.
tornado warnings. Here we go yet again.
Yeah, so
And this is over into central.
I don't know. I
This
mean,
is
I'm
the
here.
area
It's
we're
not.
looking
It's
at,
not.
and
It's not bad yet.
we've seen a number of
You know,
warnings
gets bad.
over into that eastern portion
I might
and
just
central
drive
portion
out.
of Polk County. This one
But
goes
we
until
don't know what it is.
4:30. This is a radar indicated tornado warning. Right
I
now,
don't think
this
it's gonna
is
be
a,
that bad. Yeah.
thunderstorm capable of producing
Yeah, that's
a
not
tornado, located 8 miles to the
Yeah, I
north
don't think it's gonna
of Avon Park. This one is moving very fast. This one's moving to the north at 55 miles an hour. So this one is
Yeah, I
really
think it's gonna
calm
work
in
out
this,
probably
in this wind.
until
And
Monday
here's what
or
we're looking at. As we look at the winds in this, There you see it. Looks like right now to the east of 27. I'm going to circle the area that we are looking at right down here. And so
You know,
this
they're not,
is
yeah,
moving to
they're
the
not,
north
but,
at 55 miles an hour. So
I
right
think,
now,
I don't know, maybe they're
those
just,
crest heights,
sensationalizing,
need to be in a safe location.
they think a little bit too late on viewers,
Basically, in
you know,
your direction
this
towards Alcoma. Alcoma, I know you've had a number of warnings in just to the east of Lake Wales, but here we go again. We have
it was a 4, but I think now they're saying it's a 3,
confirmation, but at this point we
you
have
know.
to treat them the same.
Yeah, it
regardless
says,
whether they're confirmed or not.
it says
And
3
then
and
it's working
it's
its
going
way
to be
to the
like,
north. Now you notice how large this warning
very
is,
like,
and that is simply because
this
is
night
how
actually is
so
gonna
fast.
come
Moving
in
to
this
the
night,
north
maybe
right now
from
at
this night,
55
until
miles
tomorrow
an hour.
morning is gonna
So
be in the area.
look at the
From,
rotation in this,
7
and
from
this is the
9
area
to
that
10 is
we're,
gonna start
this is
moving
the
out.
area that we're looking at.
So I think
just
that
now
the
working
wind is
its way
gonna
into
intensify when it
County,
gets here,
and
and that we might
that
be
is
out of
the
power
rotation
because for
right
sure,
there.
it's
And
gonna
that is
knock
working
out
its
some,
way right towards Frost Creek, and with that
it's gonna
speed,
knock out
55
power.
miles an hour, this
Yeah,
is going to be
alright,
Frost
so-
Creek probably in the next, say, 3, 4, 5 minutes. So it's basically, it's there right now, and then this will continue to race on towards the northeast as we continue to see.
Well,
the radar
back
scan
up,
this
I mean,
area.
talking about back up, yeah, I have like,
North, up towards Frost Creek as
what do you
well.
call it? I
Heading up
have,
towards Lake Wales, and this is just going to continue on that same basic track. Go out wide on this once again, and look at just all the rain, and we just continue to watch
just in
these
case,
very strong bands,
water
and
goes out.
just as we go out wide,
So
we have yet another warning. This
water
one,
to-
it looks like filling in
like,
that hole into
shower.
south.
Yeah, I got drinking water also, so
And
I just have all of
this is
that.
now for a cell that's working its way
From-
as it works its way through later on tonight and into tomorrow. This is pushing still across the state, 85-mile-an-hour winds. And then we have so much of this rain that is on that northern side of this, about 6 to 12 inches of rain, and we're likely going to see some isolated areas of up to 18 inches of rain. I want to bring Valerie in to talk more about some of these impacts that we're going to continue to see as we head through the afternoon, Valerie.
Yeah, Jim, and I'm going to start by kind of playing out our past path that we have seen Hurricane Milton take. You can see where it emerged in the western Gulf of Mexico, and originally this was actually able to kind of tap into some tropical energy from the remnants of a storm that was over in the Pacific. And so overnight, we basically saw this area explode in the western Gulf. And this is the kind of path that it took. It meandered here very slowly, kind of dipped off to the south. And right as it was to the north of the Yucatan Peninsula, that's when we saw it explode to become a major Category 5 hurricane. And since then, that's when it started to take that curve. We've got that trough of low pressure, and that's basically started to pull this storm. You think of it like a magnet, and that's why it started to take that trend off to the north and east. And so all things have pretty much been on track with what we've been watching over the last couple of days. Now we zoom in on where it is now, and we're still seeing this storm a little bit off our coast to the south and west, maybe about 100, a little over 100 miles there. And so we're still talking about 130 mile per hour winds as this storm has slowed down just a slight bit, but still moving to the northeast about 60 miles per hour. That pressure at about 948 millibars at this point. And so still a very strong hurricane, but it is continuing to interact with some much less favorable conditions. The kind of maximum of its strength has already been accomplished when it was in that part of the Gulf. And as it continues to get closer to our state, we've got these very hostile upper winds and these drier air that the storm is going to continue to contend with through the rest of its kind of approach to making that landfall later on tonight. Despite that, it is still going to be bringing major impacts all across west and central Florida. It is a very unique storm in the path that it kind of directly crossed the Gulf of Mexico to be making landfall in these areas that we don't typically talk about, kind of a direct landfall from the storm crossing the Gulf of Mexico like that. And so as we talk about our probability for hurricane force winds, you can kind of see where we're painting the picture of where the storm might come on shore. And we do certainly expect right around that eye wall to be the most extreme and damaging winds and wind gusts. And so our latest trends have continued to kind of steer the course with this storm coming on shore, likely just south of Tampa Bay. Now, of course, we continue to watch for any subtle changes because, as we've been saying, a slight nudge to the north puts Tampa Bay directly into the high threat for the storm surge, kind of funneling right into parts of Hillsborough and Tampa Bay areas. But all of the trends with where we're seeing that center of circulation now and the kind of course that it's been taking, we do expect this kind of trend to continue, where it likely comes on shore just south of Tampa Bay, puts the worst of the storm surge then to areas just to the south of where that landfall will occur. But look at these winds. This yellow color here, that's where we're talking 60 to 75 mile per hour winds, and that moves on shore and spreads across a huge chunk of the state. And then we have these concerns also on the East Coast, because once this emerges back as still a strong hurricane rather, we get that onshore push, we've got all of those wave heights picking up, and so this is not just a concern close to where this makes landfall, but the winds are going to be far-reaching as this really crosses the base of the peninsula. So as far as when the worst of the winds will start, it looks like right around that 6 o'clock time frame, then right on through 11 o'clock. That's when we're approaching this storm to be making landfall, which we're still eyeing really the late night, early Thursday morning hours, but you can see those winds where you get close to up to 100 miles per hour right around Sarasota, down onto Venice, our inland spots dealing with those 60, 70 miles per hour gusts. And right on through the early Thursday morning hours, these winds will be whipping. We'll start to see a change in the direction of the winds. Of course, once the storm starts to be crossing the state, you can see on the backside of this, we've kind of got a different amount of wind flow. So just depending on where you're at, exactly where we'll see the direction of those winds. But it's late tonight where we get that onshore push, and so our storm surge issues will really start to pick up as we get closer to landfall and after, once that center kind of moves on shore. So all of these heavy rain bands, we're already dealing with them, and these continue to lift south to north. So through the rest of tonight, it's really northern spots. So even though on the north side of where we're talking about a potential landfall, that puts us in line to be dealing with all of the heaviest rain. This storm, kind of a little bit lopsided here. We're going to have all of the heavy rain concerns on the north side of the storm, but then the storm surge is going to be along into the south of that storm center. And then right on through Thursday morning, we start to see conditions improve as this likely takes that job off the East Coast by the late morning hours. And so conditions improve through the day tomorrow. Let's go ahead and talk about the storm surge potential. With that trend kind of pushing further south, it's areas around Manatee, Sarasota counties that we are very concerned about. You can kind of see the legend up here. We've got this orange color. We're talking 9 feet of inundation and around 6 feet with this yellow color. So some threatened areas, Palm Beach down to Bradenton Beach, Cortez, right on through Bayshore Gardens. All of these areas close to the coast have a very high chance of these extreme storm surge values. Lido Key, you can see they're kind of in this threshold here, 6 to 9 feet, right on down to areas around Longboat, Lido Key, Armin Circle, and then right on into Siesta Key. You can see a lot of Siesta Key kind of up to this orange color, up to 9 feet. And then furthermore, as we get down south, it's areas around Osprey and say around Venice, Inglewood. We will have some concerns about these areas. So if it's not Tampa Bay, it is going to be our neighbors just to the south. And so this storm is going to be bringing some impacts as far as the surge, also the wind. Jim already mentioned the power outages that we've seen coming through. And so overall, here's kind of a look at where we're anticipating the worst of the winds, but all of us here around the state are going to be seeing some sort of impact from Hurricane Milton.
Well, good morning. We're here at the Emergency Operations Center. Hurricane Milton is heading our way. It will arrive either late tonight or early tomorrow morning. We are bracing and are prepared to receive a major hit, facing this with the seriousness it deserves, but also with the determination that we will get through this. Folks here at the EOC and our first responders throughout the west coast of Florida have been working nonstop now for weeks to prepare and respond to Hurricane Helene, and then now to prepare and respond to this new major hurricane. The common virtue has been dedication to the task at hand, dedication to responding to help our fellow Floridians in danger, and dedication to ensuring that Florida weathers this storm and emerges stronger on the other side. We are prepared and we will respond. I've spoken to the president, we remain in regular contact with FEMA, and we are marshaling all available resources to be able to prepare and respond to Hurricane Milton. I also want to thank the 20 other states who are assisting Florida ahead of the storm. This is just
Fort Myers, we got some pictures, all devastation that happened. The tornado hit Colonial Boulevard. There's Summerlin, between Summerlin and 41. And this is what it looks like right now on Colonial Boulevard in Fort Myers. Tree limbs everywhere, gas station awnings have been ripped apart. It is just something, I live right down the street from there. I've never seen anything like this.
Just west of US 41, the awning ripped off, so many businesses around here. So a lot of damage as well. And then homes, the neighborhoods on either side of Florida, on maybe the regular here on this side and then on the other side, some of the smaller homes, we saw entire roofs ripped off of apartment complexes.
Yeah, that's the very 7-Eleven where my 16-year-old daughter got gas yesterday. So.
Last time we checked in with Luke Live, he was at a very different spot. It was dark forms on the approach to the pier there, and it was crazy. You're inside now. Where are you right now, by the way?
Well, we're nice and dry here inside this historic hotel in downtown St. Pete. This is the Courtyard by Marriott in downtown. And yes, the atmosphere here is pretty cool. Look outside, you can see the signs sway in the wind, trees out there as well as rain just comes down in sheets right now. And in the distance there, you probably can't make it out from here because the rain is so thick. There are a number of tower cranes working on various construction projects throughout downtown St. Pete. I think we have some video of those cranes as well. And because wind gusts cranes, what the specialized nature of crane operations, lowering or securing tower cranes scheduled weeks in advance. So it's not easy. People are spending their time fully sold out of rooms through Saturday. That probably doesn't come as a surprise. The manager here tells me that it's situated at about 40 feet above.
Luke Dalton area. These folks must have jumped on very, very quickly. It just happened in that hotel. You know, there's not that. A lot of this was there. We did have a lot of it here.
It's not just hotels, it's going to the wire Massachusetts. This is again only parks, which are here in capacity. The DHS Robinson Jr. is at one Milton RV Park, catching up with evacuees evading the storm.
Here's how RV Park feels to the massive South Florida evacuees and among the fewer evacuees. As a group of South Florida residents who didn't want to take any chances after they experienced 3 hurricanes. Since the beginning of the week, South Floridians have been loading up to RV parks in South Florida to hunker down as they temporarily survive Hurricane Milton as it's threatened to make landfall in the Tampa Bay area.
We all have our homes on wheels, so it was actually a no-brainer for us just to crank up the engines and head north. There was a heck of a lot of traffic coming up 75. It was bumper to bumper from south of Tampa.
Winds. There are abandoned rains. But we have the men and women of Florida Task Force 1 out of Miami-Dade, as well as members from the Ohio and Virginia Task Force going into